link to the YouTube in the chat, and I'll send a blog
Bad,
post
bad.
for it.
All right. All right, y'all. So we're gonna get it rolling. We are here, another episode of Good Podcast. I am your hostess with the mostest, Mike. I got my boy DJ,
What's up?
got my boy Shane,
What's good?
got my boy Kevin. All right, we in the building. So we're gonna jump straight into the NBA. Um Man, so we got two series and some make and break situations coming up, it seems. We start with the Western Conference Finals because they're a little bit further ahead. So DJ, tell me what you think about what you see in the West right now, Clippers Suns.
The first thing I'm seeing is Ty Lue is actually like a good coach. I didn't really expect for him to actually be doing this at such a high level. Because anybody that coaches Brian, you kind of gotta just like take that for like a grain of salt at times because of his greatness. But he don't have a Brian. He has Paul George and he has guys, and so them being able to make in-game adjustments, which is something that Doc Rivers didn't do as the Clippers coach, and them being competitive when they can just really roll over. And they have Paul George 2 free throws away from this series being 3-2 with a chance to close it out at home. Um, I don't necessarily expect the Clippers to win this series, but Paul George and the rest of the guys really need to be commended because Kawhi Leonard at his best is a top 5 player in my opinion, but he's not there. And they beat the number 1 seed and they giving the number 2 seed everything they like want. And a couple of plays here and there, man, we looking at a completely different series. So it's really shocking to actually see a Clippers team like not fold and actually be good down the stretch because that's not what the Clippers are known for. Historically, past 10 years, whatever, they're known for just being losers. And then when they actually are good, just folding. And so it's really interesting and different to see.
All right. And again, so Clippers Suns, like you said with Ty Lue, um, we talk a lot about coaching on our network here. But I will agree with that point that you made about Ty and actually looking like a formidable coach, especially not having a player like a LeBron. They really don't know how to gauge how well he coaching. Kevin, what you think about the series?
I think DJ made a great point. Not really believing until now that Tyronn Lue was anything but LeBron's handpicked puppet. Um, I didn't think the series was going to last as long as it did. But I mean, the Clippers are making him earn it. Does anybody know what the status of Kawhi is?
He's not
Man,
gonna play.
man, he done, bro. Every time you look at dude, he done. He not coming out like Willis Reed. Folks done. We might see him next year, and if we do, it'll probably be later on in the season because something's gonna happen. They gonna just tell us when the season over. He had surgery on something, and then give us his like comeback timeline, and then with him that whatever they tell us, you got to add some more onto it because of low management and all that. So yeah, he done. It's gonna have to be Paul George and everybody else doing what they doing in order for them to take this to like a at least a game 7. And as we saw, like in a game 7, anything can happen. And these playoffs is all about really who is the healthiest left, and that's pretty much what this
Yeah.
like who is the healthiest because the way that they playing, if Kawhi was playing, I'm picking up the Clippers because everybody thought, oh man, Suns is hot, blah blah blah. They gonna come blow them out, and they haven't really blown them out. The games that they won, they just either barely won or they won, down the stretch and whatever. And so I kind of look at the Suns differently. Um, I don't know what's going on with Chris Paul or Devin Booker. They're not really shooting the ball well. They both still effective, but I mean they're not shooting the ball well at all now. And Devin Booker, after that one like crazy good game, he he had like 30, but I think he had like 30 yesterday. But he took a whole bunch of shots.
Hey, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I agree with both you guys said, DJ and Schwab. I mean, the Suns are playing with fire right now, and if you look at it, like DJ made a good point that the Suns have gotten pretty much every break in this series, right? They've been real fortunate. I mean, they won Game 2 on a miracle that when's the next time we're going to see something like that happen on a lob alley-oop dunk at the butt like that? I mean,
Just knowing the rules.
Oh,
yeah.
I give them credit for it. They did
No,
for
just knowing
sure.
the
Like a
rules.
lot of people didn't know the rule, and I'm gonna put my hand up. It took me like a minute to kind of like realize what had just happened. I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, no, I mean, you're up 3-1. You got that home game. You got to kind of close it out, right? Because now you go to LA, and if LA wins that game, then like DJ said, you go to Game 7, where man, anything can happen, and it's hard to say, all the pressures on one team or this, that, and the other. I think that's like an overused cliche, but
Yeah.
the Clippers are playing with house money, man. If you can get this to Game 7, they go out, play free. They got really nothing to really lose. They lost Kawhi Leonard. Like, they're not supposed to really have that much of a chance in this series. And they were down 3-1. If you can get this to 7, all of a sudden, man, the Suns they're gonna tighten up a bit. And like Chris Paul, who we've praised a ton, like, man, he has never gotten over that hump as to where he can, win a championship or even get to the finals. That's man, like I'm not saying my money's on the Clippers or I'm picking them, but when you're up 3-1, you got a home game, you gotta close it out. You gotta close it out because now the Clippers, man, they're playing with house money. So like this just really got interesting. I got no dog in the fight. I got no money in this series. Don't really care either way who wins, but I kind of do want to see it get to 7 now, just from a fan standpoint, just because that will be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. And Ty Lue, like I said, I'm with you guys. Like I said, I think the overwhelming opinion was like he was just kind of a puppet, just kind of another guy, not necessarily good or not necessarily bad, but like not good either. He was just kind of like another guy. But he's made adjustments and he's done a good job. It's tomorrow night, man. It's gonna be interesting.
I mean, he was always an improvement over David Platt.
Yeah, true.
Hey, Doc Rivers.
It's going to be interesting, and man,
Doc
I'll
Rivers
tell you
might
what,
be the best worst coach ever, or the
The
worst
Sun-
best. I
the
don't know
Suns
which
better
one.
the Suns better close it out tomorrow night, because then you got a bunch of guys that have never been there before in
Mhm.
Game 7. It's not like this is a veteran team, like
Right.
a LeBron James team that we've seen lose
Mhm.
these Game 6s where it has to go 7, and you say, okay, it's still LeBron, Game 7 at home.
It ain't Chris Paul.
No, man,
Yeah.
you can't
Chris
really say
Paul.
that anywhere.
And then
And the
Man,
way
it's,
Paul George, man, like we've spent and we like, as a society, basketball, Twitter, whatever, have
Yeah.
spent a long time killing this guy, and mostly rightfully so, right?
Mhm.
But like, I respect the hell out of how he's been incredible this entire
Yeah.
playoffs. I really have gained like a new respect for him. If they're able to pull this off, like that would kind of elevate him to like another.
Superstar.
Yeah, another.
Yeah. Like you got to call him a superstar after that
Sure.
because like to beat the number 1, 2 seed without your best player, like what else can you call a guy? But like, yeah, he definitely deserves way.
Y'all
more
don't think
credit.
Paul George is a superstar already?
It's hard to call somebody a superstar that's in
No.
every big moment that he's had, he's come up short. Like he's a
Yeah,
great
like-
player.
A lot of
Like
guys like that.
there's a difference between star and superstar.
Yeah.
If we
There's
take Kevin Durant off of Golden State, the 3 years he was there, how much more better would his career be than Paul George?
I mean, he won an MVP. Are
KD would still be a superstar.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
but that's
KD has consistently.
I'm just keeping it straight to the moments. I'm keeping it straight to the moments. If you take Kevin Durant's career and delete Golden State, which was like a juggernaut, right? Those 3
Mhm.
seasons, right? Just delete that. Act like that never happened. What big moment does Kevin Durant have? Because he blew a 3-1 lead before. Like he lost in the finals.
He also has an
So
MVP though.
And
He has an
then
MVP,
stages.
but I'm talking about big moments. The MVP, that's a season-long reward. Paul George had an MVP season too, according to him. I just bring it up to say I feel like Paul George is a superstar. I seen guys talking today about like you have levels of like stardom. So like you got like mega
Yeah.
stars. So that's like Steph, Bron, Katie.
Looking for
I don't know if you're
establishing
gonna
a
add anybody else with
megastar.
Steph.
Like, what's the levels here?
But what about
If-
what about Giannis, for example?
Giannis is a superstar.
Agreed.
I can't
But
put
he's also
Giannis with
got-
Steph. I can't put Giannis with Steph. Giannis is like the new Steph. Like I think DJ asked me like a couple years ago, like is Giannis Steph? And I was like, yeah, like kid's gonna buy his shoes. He got 2 MVPs. Like all he missing is a championship. He probably get this year.
we're about
them.
we're about
Yeah.
2 or 2.5 weeks away from putting that conversation about Giannis to rest.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'm here for it. I've been here since 2013, baby. I got tweets to prove it, baby. But yeah, I
And then
just end it
also,
here. I think Paul George is a superstar. He is a perennial all-star. He
Great
one of the
player.
better
Yeah, he's a
defenders
great
in the
player.
league. It's just that like I mean, and he done went head up like Indiana Paul George. Like I would have never thought the media and just like you said, just basketball society in general would turn our back on Paul George the way we did. Whether you was a LeBron fan or not, the way Paul George got down in 2 Eastern Conference Finals back to back, it was like, okay, this dude is like gonna be the future. And it's like what we thought he was gonna be. He's showing in this series. It's definitely usage because Kawhi not there, but I don't know. I think PG. I think he right there. Like you got guys like okay, Brian, Curry.
but hold on. But like to your
KD.
point, like to basketball Twitter and stuff, like the thing with Paul George is that him talking. So him giving himself that name
Playoff P.
after like that Indiana days was a while ago. And then you go get put out in the first round by Dame and then say it's a bad shot. It's like let other people say these things about
Yeah,
you
right.
and don't just
Yeah.
keep saying stuff. And I think that is a part of like why people, kind of like turned they, back
Nah,
on
I get it.
now.
I get it.
Now, if he said he was playoff P and didn't choke last year against Denver, or he, didn't get put out in the first round against the Blazers and all this other stuff, then all right, then people are like, all right, cool. But then he said I'm playoff P and then followed that up with nothing until now.
And they got booted. They got booted in the first round by
Well, I'm talking about the
Utah
Blazers.
when he was with Oklahoma City too that 1 year, right?
Yeah, was it with them 1 year or 2 years?
It was
It
in
was
2 years.
It was two.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
So the other
Yeah.
year was
Yeah,
right.
because that's that meme with
Okay,
with
three.
Ingles,
Okay, three.
with Jeff
Push off P.
with Ingles, where
Push off
Ingles,
P.
where Ingles was like cooking him that whole series. So you said that, gave yourself that name, and then you have 3 like meltdowns back to back to back. That's kind of like where this narrative I think grew, because you can't give yourself a name. That's the one thing that you can't do. And 2, all right, if you're gonna do it, then we need to see this like next level of you doing it. And then you said KD, but KD at least as the face of a franchise brought his team to a finals. Now they was young and they didn't do it, but he had moments throughout that playoffs where he brought his team to finals. Yeah. And so
It's true.
to me, that's like different. And then
I
yeah.
know
Went
KD
into
had Russell
that
Westbrook,
Miami team.
James Harden, and Paul George had Roy Hibbert and George Hill. But we gonna keep it moving, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens. We'll talk back because that series will probably be done by the time we come back. Just want to remind everybody this is a good podcast. Appreciate everybody watching on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. Goodifitgoes.com. Shout out to Quality Sports. XYZ. I'm gonna go get me a beer so I can tell you what I'm drinking tonight. I don't even think I got no beer. I think it's all seltzer. So, but we're gonna get into the Eastern Conference Finals. We just got to be talking a little Giannis. Shane, tell me what you like in the ECF, man. What's going on with them Bucks, Shane? I mean, like I don't know how you did it, man. I don't know. But tell me.
I'm getting ready to cash a plus 350 ticket on the Bucks to win the East. Trae Young out tonight. It wouldn't have mattered. Trae Young's great and everything, but the Bucks were winning this series in 5 no matter what. They're tough, man. They present matchup problems. And I think we see this in sports all the time. We're like great. We were just talking about Paul George, great players, star, superstar, whatever you want to call him. A guy like Giannis, you're just regular season stats, killing everybody in the regular season. Then the playoff comes around and they lose. And you start to wonder, is this guy ever going to break through? Is this guy ever going to break through? And now, like, we're finally seeing he's that next guy in sports that's incredible and is going to break through and get his first championship, because I don't really care who comes out of the West. Milwaukee's winning it. I think they present matchup nightmares all over. Like, let's say Phoenix wins it. You're going to put Middleton on Booker. Can he stop him? No, but he can sure as hell bother him. He can sure as hell make it hard on him. You got Drew Holiday to chase around Chris Paul, and they got no answer for Giannis. I just think like this is and I will say this: if the Nets were fully healthy, they were going to win that series, right? And then they were going to go on and win the NBA championship. But they weren't fully healthy, and that's not how that's not how sports works. You could go back to every single NBA championship for however long you want and talk about an injury that affected it. What if Chris Paul's hamstring never went against Golden State? Maybe they don't lose when they had a 3-2 lead. What if Kyrie and Love don't get hurt in 2015? We could do this forever. It doesn't matter. And I just think we talked about on this pod a month ago. We said whoever's going to be the healthiest is got the best chance. And Milwaukee, other than the DiVincenzo injury, has stayed relatively healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to win the next two against Atlanta. And I think they'll beat – I still say Phoenix wins that series. I'll say they beat Phoenix in 6.
Okay. Schwab, Kevin, any thoughts on the Eastern Conference Finals?
Number one, Atlanta's done. And I do think it would have mattered if Trae Young had been healthy.
I agree.
I think right now they could be the ones going 3-1 tonight, looking to go up 3-1 tonight. And maybe it's silly at this point because they're about to go to the finals, but I still do not believe in the Bucks. This is a team that, were it not for injuries to both Irving and Harden, if one of them had been fully healthy that's last series, they're getting Milwaukee out of there in 4. This series, I think if Trae Young stays healthy, it's Hawks in 6. I mean, looking at game 1, and then obviously the route in game 2.
How about game 2? Yeah, you want to look at game 1?
Right.
What was the final score of game 2?
Oh, it was absolute blowout. But I liked what they were doing the other night, and then Trae Young steps on a ref's foot and gets hurt. So the bottom line here is whatever voodoo priestess that Milwaukee has found to get through this playoff run without having to deal with a fully healthy team, she must be found and she must be brought to justice because she is ruining these playoffs.
They still did they or did they not beat Kevin Durant in game 7 on the road? Did they or did they not sweep Jimmy Butler's fully healthy Miami Heat?
Yeah.
Like sure. Like I'm not some big Bucks fan or something. I'm not here to defend them, but like you play who you play, and that's
Who did Durant have left though?
He had a hurt Harden. He had a shooter who didn't know how to shoot for whatever reason, and a bunch of other guys.
Yeah, the best 3-point shooter in the league.
That forgot how to shoot. The best 3-point shooter in the league that forgot how to shoot. Like the Bucks, like Shane said, you got to beat who's in front of you. The Bucks ain't got like so many breaks because y'all was talking about Trae being hurt, but Bogdan, he's hurt. Like that first the series before, like he was cooking the Sixers. And so if you got him healthy and Trae healthy, this is at least going 6 and maybe like 7. And despite all the positive things that the Bucks have going for them, if Kevin Durant didn't wear a size like 29, they would be sitting at home. And so like I feel like the Bucks are like extremely lucky. Giannis probably get over the hump. I mean, it is what it is. Trae hurt, Bogdan hurt, so the Hawks is done, and yeah, they probably get over the hump. I picked them to be whoever in the West, which I think it'll be the Suns. So I don't know, maybe the Bucks in six, but they're gonna have to figure out Aiden too, because
Yes.
they're gonna have to figure that out because for no answer for Giannis, but they don't got no answer for Aiden because Brook Lopez want to stand out and shoot threes, and so they gonna need to figure that out too as well.
That works both ways though, because now they're gonna on
Yeah.
defense. Now they're gonna have to bring Aiden out to the 3-point line.
But then I can go small and just guard him because Brook Lopez don't want to post. So like
True.
the thing with the Clippers is they go small a lot, and for some reason they small lineup got a really high plus minus if you don't continually give your big man touches in the post and let him go to work, which a lot of these teams don't feature they big man because that's the only way to stop teams from going small is like, all right, this guy is killing us, like this guy is like dominating us. And teams don't be wanting to do that, or they don't got the players that do it. Aiden can do it, but they're not about to continually feed him.
Man,
So-
I never thought he was going to be this good. I thought he was
I
just.
Me neither.
I thought he was
I
just going to be
did.
like another like big that
Service.
had
did.
game, but like would have been better
No,
off if he
I
would have
did.
drafted in 2004.
I thought
Yeah.
so. Like,
Right?
they just needed a point guard. I always thought they just needed a point guard to like put him in the best position to score and somebody to make him work hard. And then that's exactly what happened. Monty Williams told him like, bro, you got to go do X, Y, Z. Chris Paul started talking to him, and he started working on like little stuff, and he got better. Like he was the number one pick for a reason, and it's finally showing. But then he another one of those guys that didn't know how to play basketball, learned real late. And
Yeah.
like now it's like really good, and so like
Yeah,
they got
good.
Yeah,
something to do with it too.
Yeah, Aiden is good. I'm with you,
I think the
Shane.
Suns-
I definitely didn't know that he was gonna be as good as he is. It's scary too, because he's the real deal.
Yeah, he
Like,
does. He pretty much does everything, man. I
he's
mean,
real deal. And it's like you could tell like that Phoenix team has been coached up for sure. But I will say that the Bucks this year, like everybody was talking about the Heat series, and like the common thing was just like this is not last year. Like it's not, it was just a different team. Drew Holiday, man, I got him as being really like that X factor just on the offensive side. I need DJ to put some respect on Chris Middleton name because ever since he wasn't trying to give him the respect, they've been running plays for the boy. It's like they run the offense through him now. It seems like so. Coach Bud, shout out to Coach Bud for checking the podcast out. You know what I'm saying? Glad we could have gave him.
Bud sucks. Bud sucks.
But yeah, I like the Bucks. Shane, I'm looking now. Points bet. They got the Bucks minus 125 to win it all, and Giannis minus 115 to win the finals. So that's one of them things. Like finals MVP rather. So that's one of them things. Like if you think the Bucks gonna win, bet on Giannis.
Phoenix
One of them type
will
of thing.
have home court, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so because Phoenix was one game away from being overall leader in wins. So yeah, they will have home court.
All right. Yeah, no, I mean, I look, I don't think Milwaukee's going to wash them. I don't think they're going to sweep them. I think they'll win in 6. Sounds about right.
Yeah, they got a lot of like matchup things, like you said, on both sides where coaches gonna have to coach, and which coach do you?
Yeah, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to
more.
fire a big bet on Milwaukee and see Budenholzer bring in Jeff Teague to guard Chris Paul.
That's the
Yep,
thing.
that's
Now, see,
happening.
I think
That's gonna
I
happen.
think Phoenix at their best is better than Milwaukee at their best. But Shane's right. That is going to be a tough matchup. Now, does Budenholzer use that to his advantage? That's another question. If you're asking me to make a
The
prediction
Nats is
today-
game one, Shane. The Nats is game one.
if you're asking me to make a prediction,
Second
today,
quarter.
I say that the difference ends up being the home court, and it's Suns in 7.
I respect that.
Yeah, it should be a good series. I don't think it's a series where it's like a lot of blowouts or anything.
Well, Schwab picked the Suns in the first round, man, over the Lakers. I mean, of course, this is before the AD injury, but like, so I don't know. Maybe this might be foreshadowing. You might be right again. I would love to get a 7-game NBA Finals because that means I get to just watch NBA like longer. Which
Yeah,
is always,
right. And my bet's done. I probably won't even bet the series. I just have
Yeah,
Milwaukee
me
to win
too.
the East, so I'll just probably sit back and just chill.
yeah, my bet is done to all my Brooklyn Nets futures.
I mean that's a tough one, man. To get the price you did, and then just to see the way it went down. I mean that's brutal.
Man, they I think they got as low as like minus 110 or like plus 110, one or two. But anyway, all right, y'all, we're gonna move on. Swab, we into the Stanley Cup final. Talk to us a little bit. Tell us what's going on.
You must.
Only thing I gotta say is I was completely wrong about the Golden Knights. They got me again. They fooled me again. Didn't well, I mean, I ain't really watch a lot of Canadians games this year. I'm not gonna lie and say I did, but definitely didn't expect them to beat the Golden Knights 4-2.
Who would like the equivalent be of like the Canadian, like the NBA team this year from the playoffs making the finals?
There's really not one, just because in hockey you've got a goalie can get hot and he can steal some games, and that's what's been going on this entire postseason with Carey Price, which is why when you put the message in the chat, I told you to stay away from Tampa Bay. And it's not that I don't think they're going to win the series, because they should. They're so much more talented than Montreal is. But at minus 275, I don't like that price.
Well, it's a lot higher now after they won game one. I haven't looked, but it's probably like
fashion. Yeah. Tampa should win. They have so much more talent than Montreal does. I mean, especially up front. Stamkos, Kucherov, Braden Point's been on fire this postseason. So really, it should come down to either Price if the Habs win, or if Tampa closes it out, Braden Point.
Yeah,
I reached. Those two guys is going to be the Conn Smythe.
I reached out to a friend of mine that bets hockey professionally, actually, and I asked him. I said, "What are your thoughts?" And he said he would have been on. He stayed away, but he would have been on Tampa pretty big at that, even at that price, if he knew that Kucherov was 100% healthy. I guess there were some issues.
Well, he missed the entire regular season.
Right. So I guess there were some issues. So I don't know anything about hockey, but I guess Kucherov is one of the best players.
Mm-hmm.
So
goal machine.
But this is just like that. This is a classic example of a team that's somehow completely overachieved, made the finals, and now they're playing Golden State or a top team, and their luck's probably going to run out.
And not necessarily though, because in theory the luck should have run out against Vegas, because Vegas was a much more.
They were favored by a good amount, I thought.
Yeah, and the Canadians lost a lot of ground at the end of the season. They went on like a 5-6 game losing streak to end the season.
They were under 500.
Yeah, so like the seeding, it does matter. But they damn near out the playoffs though.
I have heard that from like a betting perspective. Like if your goalie gets hot, you have a chance.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I thought that they were one or two from Vegas, but that ultimately the talent in Vegas and their depth was just going to win out, and this all has to do with number 31 in net.
Because Vegas,
were it not for the hot streak that Braden Point's been on this postseason, barring 3 more games where they let in 4 or 5 goals, you could make an argument for a Price to even be the Conn Smythe if Montreal loses.
I was for sure whoever won between Vegas and Colorado was going to win it out. So I'm going to say because Tampa was able to get past the Islanders, which I also thought was another good team.
Another one. That shouldn't have gone 7 games.
With the Islanders?
Yeah.
I thought
They're
the
a good
Islanders
team,
would win
but
that series.
Tampa they should have closed them out in 6 at the most. They're just so much more talented than New York was, but give the Islanders a ton of credit. I mean, they just kept coming at them. They made them earn it. Barzal had a great series, and best of luck to those guys next year. I mean, they're probably one guy away from being one of those very top teams in the league.
Yeah. Who did you pick before the Stanley Cup final started?
right just before this series started.
Yeah, before the final.
Tampa.
That's who he's staying with.
Yeah. It's I didn't. I guess it's a shame. I wouldn't have stayed away from the series pick just because I think Montreal's going to pull an upset, because I don't think that. At some point, you're right, the luck just, not even really luck, but just at some point the talent disparity is going to rear its ugly head for the Canadians, and they're not going to be able to overcome this one. And game one certainly didn't look great for them in that regard. But it was the minus 275 that's like, I'm not betting against Carey Price at that price. With the run he's been on.
So, appreciate that. As our NBA season fades, and before we get into NFL, which mostly two big sports we talk about on here, we get into more so miscellaneous sports. So, I'm just gonna talk about all this black girl magic going on in the Olympics this year, because it's some beautiful black women doing their thing right now. I'm just gonna start out with the GOAT, Simone Biles. Simone Biles just makes up her own shit now, and they like, we can't even score you because nobody can do what else the fuck you do. So she's the GOAT. So shout out to Simone. I know you watching, boo. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. Naomi Osaka. I don't know. Naomi Osaka been in the news. She's taking her mental health break. But she gonna show out in the Olympics. Half black, half Asian. So she gonna be at the crib back in Tokyo doing her thing. So I'm gonna shout her out. And Sha'Carri Richardson, who went to LSU. Might have seen her a couple years ago when she was doing her thing at LSU. Sha'Carri Richardson has been in the news all week. She got her spot on Team USA, so she's gonna be in her first Olympics. I think she ran 19 in the 200, something crazy. And I've seen all these crazy ass think pieces, people hating and shit, saying, "Oh, she built like a man and she unattractive and all this bullshit." It's the same shit they used to say about Serena back in the day and all that shit, even now. So shout out to Sha'Carri doing her thing. Shout out to Allison Felix.
Did you mention the one that pissed off all the American flag waving MAGAs?
Which one?
I don't know her name.
She was white.
What sport?
So I don't know. Something for the Olympics. She turned
Yeah.
during the national anthem, and all the Clay Travis Brigade is all up in arms.
Oh, no, I ain't see that.
You didn't see
gotta
that?
find out who that is.
All right, I'll have to. I only saw bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, I want to shout them out. Anybody on the USA women's basketball team? Aja Wilson. Aja Wilson probably gonna be like their best. It seems like right now. Been trying to keep up with some WNBA, but I know Skylar Diggins on the team. I know Brittany Griner is there. I think there's a couple more, but not Breonna Taylor. Shit. Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner. Shout out to all them. Definitely shout out to Simone Manuel. She is a swimmer. She gonna do her thing. She was the first black woman to win an individual gold. So I just want to take some time to shout all them out, man, because that's what we're gonna be watching this summer. And then I guess we can talk about the men's national team on the basketball side. Have y'all seen that roster?
Yeah. Okay. So I know Kevin Durant's playing.
Yeah.
Run some more names by me. I saw it, but I know Zach LaVine's playing.
Yeah, Zach LaVine. So Bam Adebayo, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Jeremy Grant, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine, Dame Lillard, Kevin Love, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum.
Where's Olympic?
Olympic Melo? No Olympic Melo this year.
I mean, look, it's a nice team, but like the other day I was watching highlights of the 2008 team. Oh my God, I don't know if we'll probably never see a USA team that dominant again.
You said 2008?
Yeah, I was watching
is that the Bron, Kobe, Wade?
Bron, Kobe,
crazy too.
Yeah, but like
2012
yeah, for
was,
sure.
was
But I was
Bron,
watching.
Kobe, Wade. No, Wade wasn't there. Bron, Kobe, Melo, 80, KD, Westbrook. They was crazy too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look at that
But
2018.
like that there was this video I was watching on Instagram. It was the 2018, and it was like Wade, LeBron, Kobe, and Chris Paul, Dwight Howard.
Oh
that
yeah,
team.
yeah,
Like
oh, yeah.
that team was ridiculous. Like they were just,
They had
they could-
Bosh. They had
you
Chris
can name
Bosh.
the score. They were destroying these teams. Like I don't know. Like I think we'll win, but like some of these other countries are not that far behind as far as like on the international game goes. These guys are
Oh,
playing
yeah.
together. These guys are playing together more. You know, like in those style games, it's different. It's not you can't just roll the balls out and say, all right, you know, we got the best player in the world, go win. Like it's not that simple anymore. Some of those other teams
It's not, but like if the USA bring like that 18, like if we look at the top like 10 players, right? How many of them are not American? Like if you look at the top,
Giannis, Jokic,
yeah, that's a good point.
Luka.
so then the other,
That's three right there.
But then they all
Those three are all the way on the
different.
team.
Yeah, exactly. So my point is, if you roll out the ball with the 7 out of the best 10 players in the whole entire world, like they really can't do nothing with them. It's just that they're not used to you know some parts of the game and the leagues are like different, right? But then one of the things is that 3-point line is shorter. Guys out there taking like long twos, but now they threes.
Yeah.
And then like the touching, like the fouls and stuff like that. And then the goal
James playing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I think that'd be the thing though, is like the other countries, they all are together, but then they best player play in the league. So then guys 2 through 12 all play on the same team, but then they best player is Luka. Their best player is Giannis. Their best player is whoever, right? And then whereas these guys, they all play on different teams for the most part, and then you roll them over there to the country, and then be like, all right, y'all, let's go hoop. But then we got a mix of like tier 1, tier 2, and then like tier 3 guys too. Because I don't know why Kevin Love on the team, but okay.
I'm sorry, but Jalen Rose is probably right. What he said. I mean, like everybody's, you know, a lot of people are pissed off by those comments, but I mean, is Kevin Love even like somebody asked this on Twitter, is he even like he's not even a top 30 player anymore. Like, what is he anymore?
Available. I mean,
like,
you have to remember
he's just
part of this too.
Why?
Is like,
I mean, experience, I guess.
Rebounding.
Part of this too is the timing of all of it, where like the NBA season's running longer this year than it would have started.
So yeah, he's well rested. I mean, the guy wasn't even fucking trying playing this year. Like I mean, I don't want to see him playing big minutes.
Nah, that's the big thing. Like they're gonna have to like rebound the ball because that team's small. But if they cooking everybody, it won't be that many rebounds to like get.
Like we should be fine. I'm just saying, like outside of like KD, I'm just like, all right, solid. But like, do we have, you know, like like LeBron? Like I remember listening to like interviews like with those guys we just talked about, Wade, LeBron, Kobe. Like they're saying, like, man, you got to bring a different type of dynamic to that game than you do in the league, playing on a Tuesday night in February type shit. Like this is, you know, you're gonna get the best shot from everybody every night. Like this is, you know, a bunch of all-stars playing with each other. You know, it should be fine, but I mean, I'm looking at the roster like, all right, has that guy been there before? Like, what is this guy? Is this guy gone far in the playoffs in the league?
No.
I'm just like, okay. I'd be lying if I was saying it wasn't like a little bit like the fact that KD is there, and we know like there isn't a player in this league, in this tournament, whatever you want to call it, that's better than him. Like that makes me feel good. But like I'm just kind of looking at the rest of the roster, like, all right, let's go. Kind of a little nervous. I can't lie.
So I'm looking at the pool play. It's still 4 teams left to qualify for the Olympics, but right now the pot that the U.S. is sitting in has Spain and Australia in it. And then
Australia got no Ben Simmons, man. They're gonna really miss his.
Miss
I don't know.
what?
Y'all
What's there
y'all
to
gonna fill in
miss?
the. Yeah, they gonna miss
His
I don't know.
something.
Yeah, they gonna
Who
miss
they
that
have?
something.
Australia has
Spain's always solid though. Spain's
Dante.
always tough.
I thought the
Baines. They got
the-
Baines. They got Matthew Dellavedova. They got Dante Exum. They got Josh Green, Joe Ingles, Patty Mills.
That's a decent
Matisse
squad actually.
Thybulle. Matisse
Jalen,
Thybulle
have
also.
you seen Green play at all?
Who?
Jalen
Josh
Green.
Green. Yeah, back in a minute ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like he's supposed to be.
Actually, he's all right. The Mavs got him sitting. So
Yeah, Australia gonna be straight. Spain always tough too.
Spain. I'm looking at their schedule. I mean their roster. Let's see if any notables. Of course, Paul is playing, but I don't see Mark. Oh no, Mark is playing too. Well, they got Mark
Rubio?
as
Ricky
They
Rubio
got Mark
playing?
as starting center. Rubio, Juan Hermagones, and Nikola Mirotic. Sergi Baca is on their bench. Rudy Fernandez, Sergio Rodriguez. They got a pretty deep team.
That's a solid team. I mean, it's
Ibaka
like
probably not playing though.
Yeah, he on the
He
roster.
Yeah, but he probably not playing. He ain't played none in this what you call it. He probably gonna sit
Yeah.
that out.
he's been dealing with so many injuries. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they got
then-
pretty.
Yeah, so that's it for who in they pod. Let's see who's on Team France real quick. Y'all boy, starting 5 center with France. Your boy Rudy Gobert.
Barbecue chicken. He about to get cooked out there.
They got him. They got Gershon Yabusele, Nicholas Batum, Evan Fournier, and Nando Di Colo, the Spurs legend. And
I
fucking
they
Luis
solid too.
Scola. Luis Scola is the starting center for Argentina, by the way.
he's a
Still?
Fucking like
he's a
100 years
fuck-
old.
He's a piece
Still?
of shit.
Still? How's he still
Yeah.
starting? So
39 years old.
So good. Let me start.
Maybe
So
Manu
good.
will come back shit.
wasn't he on the team that won gold in 2004?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Manu, I think
That was terrible.
Nocioni, couple more of them guys.
Larry Brown is a war criminal. I don't think Brown was
That-
playing.
That shit was sorry as fuck.
I don't think Brown or Melo
Well, that's
was
what-
playing.
No,
And
that's what ends
then-
up. Well,
I
those
think
guys
Brown-
just come into the league.
Was
the previous
Braun
year.
there? Was
Yeah,
Braun
he was
there?
there.
But he didn't play, right?
Yeah, he was there, but he didn't play
Yeah.
because Larry
That was the
Brown
Tim
wanted
Duncan, Iverson,
Stephon Marbury.
Kevin King and Martin, or fucking somebody else.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That team compared to
Phillips.
every other Olympic team, like
pathetic,
since
dude.
'92, you would be like, "What the fuck?" And they got some play. I mean, I'm the biggest Tim Duncan guy in the world, but Tim Duncan don't got the FIBA package really. I mean, he was shooting threes and shit, but it's like it's just not that game. Like, so I don't fucking know, man. That don't look like one of them world beating ass
But
teams.
Dude,
And that might be this year's team. I don't know. They got
the
KD,
2008 team, like I'm watching, I'm gonna put this in the chat. Like they were running up the score. Like they were up like 50 and then like stealing the ball at half court and throwing up lobs and then pressing. Like they were straight
The whole-
running
the
up.
whole
That's because they was so
2004.
mad. They
Right,
was so
right. Yep,
yeah, they
that's a
was
good
so
point.
mad.
Yep.
And then I think
Yeah,
Wade
redeem team.
was like the best. Like Wade was like the best player on that team. I want to say it was the
That
Heat
was
team.
bald head Wade.
Yeah,
Bald
bald
head
head Wade.
Number
Bald
Wade,
head
nine.
Wade.
LeBron,
Number
Carmelo,
9.
Kobe, like
He
that
was
team was
Wade
Yeah.
was killing.
It was
Like that's
sick.
the thing though. Like they didn't like you had Brian, Kobe, and then other guys, but then it was like Wade who was really like doing like a bunch of like the dirty work and just like killing every time he on the court. Like Wade was going hard every time he was on the court.
Yeah.
So we'll do this. This is what I'll do.
Carmelo
I'ma
Anthony,
give y'all-
who was always something special in the Olympics.
Yeah.
LeBron really coming to his own as a superstar, and on top of that, Kobe was there. It just
I
you still-
thought Melo was gonna give it one more run, man. I thought he was gonna be like what's my boy from Brazil, Oscar? I forgot his last name, but I thought he was gonna be like him, like getting it in down at 40 years old, still in the Olympics. I mean, fucking Luis Scola playing. I'm sure Melo could get a run.
He could
This
take
what I'ma do.
Kevin Love's spot.
I'm gonna get a good if it goes team homework. We all gonna go find an Olympic team, one of the old Olympic teams. It could be US team or another team. We'll talk about it in our chat, and then we'll come back maybe the second to the next time after the NBA is over to warm up for the Olympics. We'll talk a little Olympics ball. Maybe I'll throw a women's team in there too, just to make it a little spicy. So we'll see. Well, thank y'all for watching. That's all the material we got because ain't too much to talk about. Shout out, I ain't gonna say it on air, but big shout out to the news that we found out Quan gave us earlier to somebody who might be joining his team directly from Vegas. So shout out to them. We're gonna holler at them when they join. All right, y'all. Peace out, y'all.